Now, this is part two of the video because there was some setting in my camera, so I wasn't able to record the video for a longer time. So now let me just continue from where I left. So then sage Brihadashva tells Yudhishthir, you have the alleviations of unclouded intellect and the society of your nearest and dearest. So just focus on the good things that are happening around you when problems attack you or you're surrounded with a lot of problems. You spend much of your time in exalted contemplation of dharma and in holy converse with brahmanas who are learned in the Vedas and Vedantas. Bear your trials and tribulations with fortitude, for they are the lot of man and not peculiar to you. Thus did the sage Brihadashva console Yudhishthira. So the common lot of man, or the common experience of man, is that everyone will face trials and tribulations. And so if something is not peculiar to us, what it implies is that we need to bear it and endure it patiently. When we talk about enduring problems, we are not saying that we need to become inactive. We should act and try to remove the problem if we can, but if we cannot, if actions cannot remove the problem or eliminate the problems, then it's better to endure them and bear them with fortitude. So let me conclude this video. So one thing we saw or learned from this is that we should not dwell on problems. We should not let our minds dwell on how big our problems are. And the other thing is we should not think that our personal problems are greater than those of others. And especially when we learn about all these problems of these great legends of our spiritual and religious books, we should not consider them remote things. That is when our personal problems become a lot more troubling to us than the problems that our great heroes of the past faced. So when you read about them, just think that they too were as real as ours. And so we can draw lessons from their experience. So that's why when you read the Gita, and sometimes you may have to do certain things that might go against your relatives. I mean, if your relative is in the wrong and there is a blood relation, but you have some kind of emotional connect, but Arjuna was greatly emotionally connected to Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama, but he killed Bhishma because that was a righteous war during that time. It was a dharma yuddha, a war of dharma, or a war of virtue. So in that virtuous war, Arjuna killed Bhishma Pitama, one of his favorite relatives. And Arjuna also witnessed the killing of Dronacharya, his great guru, and he was very affectionate with him. So what these things teach us is that sometimes when we have to take tough decisions and that will affect our relatives, we should draw lessons from these scriptures and not become hesitant in taking the right action. So even though it's our relative, we should do the right thing and not be influenced by emotion. And the other thing is, finally, that trials and tribulations and problems are the common lot of everyone, so we should endure them patiently. And one more thing is that you think of what good things are happening around you even while you go through the problems. So it's not that anyone faces problems 24/7. You'll have occasions to dwell on great things. For example, just when you are suffering a lot, I mean, who stops you from listening to some good soothing music, some bhajans? For example, I like listening to bhajans and some motivational speech, and we can read some books. For example, if you read books in Tamil, you read Swami Vivekanand in Tamil. If you like reading his books in Hindi, you read them in Hindi. If you like to read them in English, you read them in English. I mean, I had this book to hand, so I showed you I have the entire set of Swami Vivekananda. I'll show you my English books as well. So, for example, you read some portions from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda in English. Similarly, I have the Hindi one. It's a little far away from me at the moment. So you dwell on these great things. You have discussions with learned men and women, and have wisdom. I mean, just gain wisdom from that conversation. So these are some of the things we learn from this chapter that we read from the Mahabharata, written, translated by Sri Rajagopalachari. So finally, I recommend this book. Buy it and read it. Read it yourself. Encourage your children to read this great work by Sri Rajagopalachari. Thanks for watching this video.